This can go horribly wrong. How's it, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm still going to give it a name. I did have the idea of shelf charters in the past. I don't know where it's going to go now, but let me know what you guys think. Well, I'll even take suggestions for names in the comments below. I'm going to have a look at some of the reasons to do chartership in no particular order. Evidence of competency and hard work. So we only get it if you show that you've met the criteria for chartership, and that can take commitment for up to 12 to 18 months, we keep being told. And having to sort through the evidence that we have to compile and evaluate everything and reflect on everything does take a fair bit of competency. As it's not meant to be easy, it also shows that you're prepared to do the hard work involved to get the accreditation. It's a recognized stamp of professionalism. You get to have the nominals go after your name. I'm just curious as to whether or not they go before or after the qualifications. I have to honestly ask how many librarians actually have the M-CILIP or F-CILIP after their names in their business cards or emails. Do people still use business cards? Actually, no, they do. Vendors always want them for competitions. Motivating yourself into continuing with developing is easier. You've come this far, you might as well keep going. After all, CILIP only expects you to write about 20 hours of activities over that previous year. I mean, how difficult is that? The accreditation is recognized in other countries. It makes it easier to apply for jobs in other countries with their own professional organizations for librarians and information professionals. For most, this isn't really an issue, as they're already running around with a master's qualification, which is recognized in most countries as things stand. I, on the other hand, am still running around with a library degree, although it did cause some confusion when I moved here. That being said, it was recognized. However, in a place like America, it's not recognized, and having a chartership would actually make things a lot easier for me. Not that I'm planning on moving to the United States anytime soon. My friend Matt is already there. One South African librarian in America is enough as far as I'm concerned. It's one step closer to being a fellow. Well, that's the easiest way to look at it. So once you've done your chartership, you've got a few years ahead of you. Hopefully you would have been keeping up the revalidation for the 20 hours, and that might make it easier to give fellowship a go. Career progression. This is something that keeps getting thrown around every now and then. However, when I moved here 16 years ago, there were adverts that indicated that chartership or being prepared to do chartership was a must. I now have to ask, is it as relevant now as it was then? After all, how many librarians out there are there that are in senior management roles now who don't have a chartership? Or how many people have applied for senior management roles without a chartership, and that was indicated as the reason why they didn't get the job? And lastly, more pay. It used to be that if you got chartered, you were entitled to a pay increase as recognition of you doing your chartership. These days, I'm not entirely sure if librarians get pay increases if they get their chartership. I mean, if they did, that would be a great incentive. I'd like to know, has anybody been chartered and they got a pay increase in their role because of it recently? Let's define recent as the last 5 years. So yes, those were the 7 reasons to do chartership. I'd like to know your thoughts, what you think about them, if you agree with them, which ones fit closest to your reasons why you're wanting to charter. And if there were any that I never even considered, please let me know. Or please drop a comment below with the reason if it's not on the list. And give me something to think about and see what I missed out on, or didn't consider, or didn't find in research. To be able to infer chartership status on its members, organizations have to have a royal charter. The Institute of Chemical Engineers gets to publish their list of chartered members every year in the Daily Telegraph. While I might not necessarily be a big fan of the Daily Telegraph, I do think that's pretty cool. At least that's something you can show your friends. I believe we have our name shown in the Information Professional. Yes, I can cut it out and send it to my mom to show her, but it's not quite the same as having your name listed in a national newspaper. This is actually a post-editing note. I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the video, so I'm just sticking it on at the end because that made sense to me. Hi, Sean or Michelle Librarian, depending on which social media platform you follow me on. Here, because I'm editing it now and hopefully I'll get it up in time, I just wanted to wish everybody happy World Book Day, happy Copyright Day. I know at least one person who I'm pretty sure that's the closest thing that they have to a religious holiday. She's going to kill me. As well as happy International Day of the Book. There are also other things for the role players out there. Happy GM's Day. Remember, players, treat your GMs with care and respect. You can always mess around with them during the games. And to wrap things up, if you liked what you saw in relation to the reasons to charter, please click like below. If you want to be notified when I'm putting more of these out, click the subscribe button. If you want me to look at anything in relation to Chartership that isn't covered by the traditional Chartership handbook or their guidelines or rules, or your mentor doesn't know, please drop me a line in the comments or shout on social media. And if nothing else, and I hope you got to spend today reading. Whether it was something new, something old, something familiar, something comfortable. I will just be glad if you spent your time reading. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do now before I start work.